so I'm Christine. I am not a virtual assistant anymore. I did an Eve's VA course a couple of years ago, and now I have kind of moved from VA into like podcasts. And now I run a podcast agency, and also have a VA coaching program as well. And yeah, that's pretty much me. I'm from Ireland. I started my business a couple of years ago, and kind of have been pretty much traveling ever since, and have brought my partner into my business. And yeah, I think that's pretty much
I mean,
in a
what
nutshell.
an intro. You always have like so much plotting behind the scenes that like when I was chatting to you, being like, what would you like to talk about? I'm like, okay, we've got some new stuff going on, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I feel like I can't sit still, and that's probably a positive and a negative about me. So
100%. So you are in Cyprus at the moment. How is that, first of all?
yes, yes, we are in Cyprus. It's absolutely amazing. Like I'm sitting out in the sun, as you can probably see.
Yeah,
And
amazing.
yeah, it's just amazing. It's one of those things that I feel like no matter how many times you travel, no matter where you go, you always come back to like, I can't believe I can do this. And like this is not
Yeah.
just like a week holiday off. It's like we can stay here for as long as we want. Do you know what I mean? And I just like every nearly every day I'm just like, this is our life. Like this is amazing.
It's so exciting. And do you have any timeline on how long you're staying, or are you actually just gonna like wait and see?
Well, we're planning to stay a month. We might stay an extra week or so. We're just sort of playing it by ear, and we're just going to see what
Love it.
happens. We'd really love it here. Like it's gorgeous, and the sun is out. So, it depends. I
Perhaps.
think it's going to depend on what the weather's like in Ireland. If we go back a week earlier, or if we just stay for
Yeah.
an extra week or so. But yeah, obviously we've plans in July. And
Exciting.
yeah, we've lots kind of going on in July, and then we're away to Spain in August as well. So we'll
Amazing.
need to come back for a couple of weeks, and then we're off again. So
And
cannot complain.
honestly, but credit to you guys, you work really, really hard. So you have this lifestyle and
Yeah,
you can work and travel with the business because you guys do work so hard.
yeah,
Can you tell me a little bit about, I guess, updates since I chatted to you last? When we chatted last, you know, you had run a super successful kind of launch of your VA group program. You guys were starting working with your first podcast clients. You were kind of upping things with the social media agency side of things. Fill me in on what's changed since then.
yeah.
It wasn't that long
So
ago.
I know. So I feel like, to be honest, I feel like the last few years it's been a lot of kind of questions around what direction is this going to go in, and really trying to feel like what feels aligned to us and what we want to do. And I feel like really only in the last few weeks I've kind of just had the time to get some clarity on that. So obviously, like we started as, you know, I started as a virtual
Yeah.
assistant, doing a lot of kind of general admin, and even still up to now, like there's still clients that I work with just because I genuinely love working with them,
Yeah.
in the kind of project management space and things like that. But we've sort of recently then, obviously then we kind of moved into the social media management, and really enjoyed that. But I just felt like, something still didn't feel right. Like it didn't feel like,
Yeah.
okay, this is it. You just have a feeling.
Yeah. You know.
So I was just like, I enjoyed doing it. I quite like being creative and whatever. But it just again didn't feel right. And obviously then I launched my coaching program, which I really loved and still absolutely love doing that. And that's not going to go away. I definitely love the coaching aspect of things.
Yeah.
And I love just kind of showing people what's possible. And
Yeah. So fun.
I think when you're kind of walking the walk, it makes it a lot easier to be able to do that because you're doing it yourself, you're in it, and that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely still really love that aspect of things. But in terms of the other side, we have decided that we're very much niching down into podcast management. And we're really, really enjoying that at the minute. It's going really well. We've got some really new clients on board, some clients that we're chatting to at the minute. And it just feels right. It just feels aligned. Like it's just, I don't know, you just get a feeling and it just feels like, okay, this is where we're actually meant to be. This is what we're
Yeah.
doing. We really enjoy the work that we're doing, and we really enjoy the clients that we're working with, and we really enjoy, the podcast as a service as well. So it just feels like everything is coming together really nicely. And yeah, we've just had we've had conversations with some amazing people and some amazing clients that we're starting to work with. And it's just been really enjoyable, if I'm honest. Like it's been probably the first time in a while where I've been like, okay, I feel like I've got clarity, and I also feel like I'm just enjoying it as well. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the minute.
Okay. A lot going on. Honestly, I think that's a really good lesson for anyone that's listening that's maybe in the earlier days. Is the virtual assistant side of things is a fantastic entry point to the online world. It's a chance to, like you said, you started with admin, then you found that you really liked some specific, types of clients, types of people to work with. And you found out that, like, you did social media, maybe there was parts of it you liked, parts you didn't. Then, you got into podcasting, and then all of that is so interlinked because, the business model is the same. You're just, the end service you're providing is different. And I think it does take a while to find, like, what is it that I'm passionate about and that I love. And your business is probably, like, what is it like? Is it about 2 years old-ish?
About 2 years. I don't even think it's 2 years just yet. So like it's all happened very fast. But I love it.
Yeah. It's so exciting, and I just think there's so much opportunity. Like, the fact that within that space of time, this is what you guys have found that you love. Other people end up being like tech VAs, other people end up like working in, social media strategy. There's so many things that you can do, and I think once you get started, and dabble with a few different things, you end up eventually finding your place in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, like, it opens up so many opportunities as well. Like it's funny you say that, because I'm launching a podcast with two girls in the kind of, they're building their own agencies as well. And one of them is actually one of my clients. I've been working with her from very much like the early days. And we've just been like working together ever since. We like get on really well, and we are launching a podcast with another girl who has an agency as well. I'm not sure if I'm actually supposed to announce this, but anyway, this is like a soft whatever. So yeah, it's just like the opportunities that come from just, starting that VA business. You just never know. Like, if you had told me 2 years ago I would be starting an agency, I would like be doing podcast management as a service, like all of these things, like they're just like, I wouldn't have believed it. Do you know what I mean? And like it happens quickly. And I think, as you say, like in the early days, sometimes you can be questioning things a lot, and you're like, is this what I want to do? Do I want to do this? But I very much just was like open to trying everything, and did dabble in like the tech side of things. Dabbled in social media, did a lot of social media, and definitely am good at that, but just kind of tried different things, and now I just feel really happy with kind of where we're at, and the direction that the business is, and the direction that I can see it going kind of long term. So yeah, it takes a while to figure it out, but like we're here now, and like we know exactly where we're at, and it's really exciting. It's fun. I love it.
So amazing. And can you give us a bit of a timeline into, I guess, you starting the VA business, going full time in the business, getting your partner on board? Like, what was the logistics standpoint of that?
Yeah.
Ish. I'm sure it's hard to remember.
Off the top of my head, I might get this slightly wrong. So I think I started my business in like November, December time. And like within the first few weeks had like 3 clients. By like February time, by like the 1st of February, I had quit my job. And was moving to Vietnam, and like this was it, like going full time. And then so that was February, and then I think by like another 5 months, like early stages of the summer, I think, then Joe joined the business, because he was teaching, so he was going to be going into the summer with like nothing anyway, like he was going to have the summer off. So it just kind of like worked out perfect timing that I was getting really busy with clients, and just was like, I can't handle this anymore all by myself. And then we chatted about it, and we just thought, if we want to actually be able to travel, because obviously we were in Vietnam, but Joe was teaching, and obviously that's what I had started to do. but we wouldn't have been able to travel with that. You know, you're still very
Of course.
restricted on time, you're very restricted on like location, and you're dependent on a lot of other things. You're
Yeah.
not really in control. So we just thought perfect timing, and then Joe came in. And now Joe is very much like, he very much handles a lot of the, you know, the podcast side of things,
Amazing.
a lot of the editing. He kind of loves all that side of things. So we've now kind of found our balance as well, and we've found like
Yes.
what we're good
Takes a
at.
while. Yeah.
But yeah, and we're working to our strengths, and it's taken a while to get there. Like, as you probably know, working with your partner, running a business with your partner
Yeah.
is not easy, but it has, yeah, it's been a journey, but we finally feel like we're in a good flow with things, and we kind of understand how each other works and all that kind of stuff. So it did all happen really fast, and I think that was something that I probably struggled with, because I was like, this is all happening really quick. We haven't figured X out. We haven't figured X out. And you know, though you probably know from my messages to you, a lot of like mini panic attacks of being like, oh, like, what am I doing? But yeah, it's very much been a roller coaster. But as I say, like, we've just got to this point now where we're working really well together, and it all happened very quickly. So it did take a while to get there, but we're here now. So hopefully
Yeah.
this is us.
That's so good to hear, because do you know what? It just is hard in the beginning to know like what you're good at, what he's good at, where those
Yeah,
fit together in the business to create your own like almost like bubbles or kind of like buildings. But it's
yeah,
amazing that you found that, because I would say it took us probably a similar amount of time to really find like where our zone of genius was, and instead of just attacking random things per day, which is what we would have
yeah,
done in the early days.
yeah,
So that means you brought him in around like 6, 7 months into business. So like really quite early on in the business.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah. It was,
gosh.
yeah, it was quite quick.
Yeah, I love that. And then what is in the future plans for the agency or the coaching business? Fill us in
Yeah,
on what you're
so
comfortable
we
sharing.
are very much building the agency. So I haven't actually announced this yet, but I am putting my coaching program on a bit of a pause. One, because I have a lot of updates and
Yeah,
things that I want to do to just improve the program, and just change things around a wee bit. So I'm going to do that over the next few months, and relaunch that again towards the end of the year.
amazing.
But very much in the meantime, then we are focusing on just growing the agency and building the agency. So we are looking to hire 2 team members at the minute, and we kind of just want to get everything sorted within the agency and make sure that
Yeah.
it all runs okay. So I have like Olga, who's obviously I think a past VA student as well. So
Yeah,
she's helping me with the back end systems,
love that.
making sure that it just feels like the right time to kind of sort all of that stuff out. Make sure that we have everything to be able to scale properly, and grow the business the way I want to grow it. So that is very much like, there's going to be a lot probably happening behind the scenes that I feel like I have already been a bit quiet on Instagram recently, and that's why, because there's just a lot going on. But
It's
it's good. Like, it's the right time, and everything feels like it's all kind of like coming together. So yeah, very much a scaling the agency for the next few months, which is really exciting.
so exciting. I mean, getting to the stage where you're hiring team members and building out back end systems, like it is a massive operation. And in order to scale, if you don't do that now, it causes chaos down the
Yeah,
line. So that's really, really, really exciting. And I think as well, really nice that you're working with someone that's like also a past student of ours. And it's just
yeah,
like, I just want to feel like the industry is like so nice. You meet so many nice people on Instagram that you can work with, collaborate with, you know, do all
yeah,
sorts with. I see it all the time, like even people like meeting up in person. I'm like, oh, it's so nice. Like
yeah.
we've connected
It's
just
so nice.
online.
Yeah, it's so nice because there's actually a girl, she might be listening to this, I don't know, who I have been chatting to kind of online for the last year. We sort of were accountability buddies at one stage.
Love it.
She's from Cyprus, and I'm also obviously in Cyprus at the minute. So I'm going
Yeah,
to try and meet up with her when I'm here.
so
And it's
fun.
just really nice that you just have friends kind of everywhere. And I always think it's weird because I'm like, they're people that you've never met, but you feel like you know so well. Um, but is is my internet okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's just really nice knowing that
it's
you are kind of meeting people and connecting with people kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And people are doing such different things, but there's so many similarities as well, which is fab.
100%. And I think that's like, if anyone's listening that's in the early stages or in the ideas phase, is like to reach out to people, like follow people on Instagram,
Yeah.
reach out, say hello. It's a weird thing, but in the online space, people are like so helpful and so
Yeah.
friendly to like people they don't know. And I just think you can get so much words of wisdom, so much advice from literally strangers on the internet, because they're also like, you know, doing the same thing as you want to do. They're pushing themselves. They're doing all the scary things, and they can resonate with like all the kind of different stages and milestones you're going through. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess on that note, what would your advice be to anyone who long term has a goal of setting up an agency? What would you say, like, what would your advice be for them?
For setting up an agency, I think just like I don't know, for me it was just like trust my gut a lot more, and to just like give yourself time to obviously figure out exactly what it is that you want to do. It's taken me nearly 2 years to kind of like get to this point of like, okay, I really feel comfortable in what we're doing. I feel like it just feels aligned, it feels right. So kind of not putting pressure on yourself to do things too early, or if it's not kind of sitting right, just to wait, because and be open to opportunities. So like try everything, do everything, figure out what you're good at, and then you can like hone in on that. And yeah, I mean, there's still going to be a lot of learnings in terms of scaling the agency and stuff. So I'm sure if you come back to me in 6 months, there's going to be something else. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would say.
I love that. And I think just on the back of that, it is really like to just throw yourself into the deep end. I know that you guys have done this a lot. Like you throw yourself in and you guys always swim, but it's only because you put yourself forward for opportunities that you might not be ready for, but you figure out. And I think that's a really important part of being an online business owner, is that you have to be willing to like jump and swim, and trust yourself that you'll figure it out, because everyone's like super talented. You can figure out things if there's like a sense of urgency, and if you have to. Sometimes you just gotta take the risk and
and
learn things like ASAP.
Yeah, I definitely think that is a big thing, because like I have learned that I just say yes and you'll figure it out, because you will. Do you know what I mean? Like if other people can do things, and I just have faith that we'll always be able to figure things out. And we'll always, you know, I know that no matter what I do, I'm always going to do a really good job for my clients, and that's priority. So I know that I'll always figure it out, and it's just, I think, I don't know if I can say this, but it's just having the balls to be able to do it, and just kind of just grabbing things and just going, like I'm just going to give this a go. And like pushing past that fear, like when you get that feeling of I'm afraid, or just when you start to feel uneasy, like that's where you do grow. And I kind of say this all the time, you know, like that's you pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and the more you do it, like it's still scary, but it does get easier, because you're like, okay, well, I've done it before, I've done something similar before, like I'll be able to do it again. And kind of just trusting yourself along the way as well, because I think that's one thing that I really struggled with, was kind of constant like self-doubt and not trust myself. But there's no reason not to, because as I say, I know that I'm always going to do everything I can, and I'm always going to go over and above. Like I am a perfectionist, that's the type of person I am. So I think I've just learned to like trust myself a lot more as well, and just trust that, you know, everything will be fine, because there is moments where you just kind of, and that's, I think no matter where you are in the journey, you're going to get those moments where you're like, what if X happens, or what if X happens? And that's something I do a lot, is sometimes like think, you know, I'm thinking like 30 years ahead, 40 years ahead, and I'm like, the world's going to be different then, but we'll adapt to that, and that's okay. But sometimes, because you can't see it and it's out of your control, you know, you can tend to overthink. But just kind of trusting the process and stuff, and just enjoying it.
Because there's a lot to it, and I think like having worked with you, what you have always been like amazing at is like, if you have a wobble, which is just so normal, I feel like you have a wobble and then you get back to it ASAP. You don't dwell on it. And I think like that is just the reality of running a business, is there are days where you're like, this is a shit show. Am I good enough? Am I doing this right? But I think once you can voice it and then pull yourself out of it and get back to it. And then once you're back in the flow of working and like, you know, like you said, running above and beyond for your clients, then you're like, oh, wait, I am capable of this. And I think that's, I would say, one of the reasons why you have done and are doing so well, is because you kind of rode the waves instead of letting them like knock you down.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
got back up straight away and we're like, all right, whatever,
Yeah.
back on it straight away, like every time.
Yeah, like I've lost count as to how many wobbles I've had at this stage.
It's normal.
There's been a lot, but yeah, as you say, you just kind of pull yourself back up. And like I'm lucky that I do have Joe as well to like vent to sometimes, or sometimes if I'm having a wobble, he'll be like, "It's going to be fine. Like we'll do it together. We'll figure it out." So you know, it's good to have a person there as well that you can just go to. But before Joe started the business, you know, I had people like yourself or just other VAs as well that I think that like connecting with other people that are doing the same thing when you have those wobbles then just makes it a lot easier. And just sometimes just messaging people as well, because like even yesterday was it somebody booked a call with us for today, wants to launch a podcast, and you know I kind of was like, where did this lead even come from, because I had no idea, and it was just from somebody that had been following me on Instagram and had recommended me to one of her clients. And can you hear me okay? Is my, can you hear me? I don't know if it's you or me, but yours kind of seems to be breaking up.
Hold on, I'm just checking on. Okay, I've got a different connection, so maybe.
Yeah. That's better. So yeah, it just kind of, the lead kind of came through, and then I just messaged her to say thank you so much for like recommending. And she was just like, oh no, I've been following you for a while. Really like your energy and all of this kind of stuff. And you know, little messages like that just make your day and kind of like pick you up as well. Like yesterday, I was like, that was such a nice message to receive. Not that I was having a bad day or anything, but just, you know, sometimes you just have days, and then by chatting to other people and chatting to other people in the industry, or even just chatting to your clients and stuff, can sometimes just give you that little pick up, or the kick up the arse that you need sometimes to be like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, you know, because like I even said to Joe this morning, we were like out walking, and I was like, I feel like my one downfall is taking it for granted sometimes, and like, you know, forgetting to kind of be like, okay, you know, because we move, because we move so much and we're in new places all the time, sometimes I'm not really appreciating the places that I'm in, because the novelty wears off a lot quicker, you know, than if you're doing it like if you're going to Cyprus 2 weeks a year or something. So I think that's one thing I'm trying to like do more of as well, is just like try and be grateful every day and to just not take it for granted, because it's very easy to, I think, as well.
It is. The thing is though, like, you've crafted, it's similar to us, you've crafted that reality. So that is normal life to you, and it might not be to other people, but it is to you. So like, it can feel like, well, of course we can do this. Like, this is just normal. Like, this is what we've worked hard for. And I completely agree. We're the same. We're just like, oh yeah, whatever, just another flight, another whatever. Because you get so used to it that you become a bit immune to it. But I agree. I think sometimes it's just like look up and be like, holy shit, like, where am I?
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And do you guys have any travel plans for the later part of the year, or are you kind of winging it for that part?
We obviously have Spain for August, so that's actually a pet sit that we're doing for the whole month of August. So like, love them. We've just done so many of them this year, and we just like love it. So we've got that in August, and then we've actually got a cruise booked in September, over my 30th, so that's going to be lovely. And then we have September. We have nothing planned from October, which is intentional, because we're trying to figure out if we want to stay in one place for the year in Europe, but we're also trying to figure out where that place is going to be in Europe, or do we do like 2-3 month stints different places in Europe to figure out where we kind of want to base ourselves long term. So we're in the process of deciding at the minute, but we have until October to decide, and it's nice not having anything planned, because sometimes I plan too far ahead and then, you know, there's no flexibility at all. So just kind of go with the flow a bit more.
Love that. I mean, you have literally unlimited options, so you can just see how you guys feel after. You might fall in love with Spain in August. Who's to know? It's hard to know when you like haven't spent long in places. So that's, I guess, obviously one of the pros of being in business yourself and having that flexibility.
Yeah.
What would you say is the hardest part of being in business and having an online business?
The hardest part, it probably is just the wobbles that you do have, and like there's days that like just sometimes they can hit you like a ton of bricks, and the imposter syndrome that you feel like that's something that I really struggle with a lot, and I've got a lot better at it. But there is just days that you just have imposter syndrome, and it hits a lot more. You just wake up and you have this feeling on your shoulders. But I think it's normal to have that, and it's normal to feel that, and I think everybody does. So I think once you kind of like start to realize and do that kind of like mindset work and go, okay, I'm feeling this way because of XYZ, but there's no actual proof, that like I always kind of see it as like, if I feel like I'm really bad at something, I'm like, where's the proof that I actually am? Because there is none. And I think that's the hardest thing, is just the mindset that sometimes can be a bit of a struggle when you're, especially in those early days. Like it's really hard to go from working for somebody else to then working for yourself, and sometimes having to have hard conversations with potential clients or or even just talking about money in general or charging right, things like that can be really, really difficult at the beginning.
100%.
But it's normal, like it's totally normal. So if just like advice to anybody that is out there, like if you're having those thoughts, just to remember that it is totally normal, and like as we said, speak to people if you are, because other people will give you the reassurance that you need, that you're doing 100%. it, you're on the right track or whatever. So speaking to the right people, making sure that the people you're talking to kind of know and understand, and kind of like have your back, because I know a lot of people don't understand the whole online business thing. So trying to like free yourself of that noise as well, because if people haven't done it, they don't know.
Yeah, and I think that like on that, like just as we wrap this up, is like if you have any friends or family member who are not business owners, and especially not online business owners, they may mean well but don't necessarily take your advice. Seek out advice from people who have walked the walk and are in the shoes that you want to be in. And it would be my biggest piece of advice probably to anyone who's thinking about starting, because I just get obviously a lot of messages from people who are like, oh, my mum thinks it's a scam, or my mum thinks I should go to college instead, or do this diploma. And I'm like, has your mum, built a successful online business? And like, I think it's just, like you said, seeking out the right people to talk to. Doesn't necessarily have to be mentors. It can be peer-to-peers, and just people who get it, because especially in Ireland, it's still relatively new. People are still like, what is that? What are you doing?
Still, when I go home, people are like, oh, how long are you home for? And they're like, are you going to work when you're home? And I'm like, I have it on like this. I work every day. Like it's not, I know. It's just, some people just don't understand. But I think, definitely free yourself from that noise if you can. And don't listen to it. Like, as you say, speak to people that, I always think, like, speak to people that are ahead of you, and speak to people that are doing and living the life that you want to live. Like, they're the people that you should be taking the advice from, and not people that are not living the life that you want to live, So they're the people to take advice from, is people that are ahead of you type thing.